Russia believed the Black Sea had become a controlled fortress, a sealed domain where no foreign force could enter without immediate detection. However, in the early hours of March 18, 2026, something massive slipped past every layer of surveillance and appeared where it was never supposed to be. Satellite imagery confirmed a formation unlike anything seen in the region since the Cold War, triggering immediate alarm within the Kremlin's naval command. What was assumed to be a stable maritime buffer zone has now turned into a potential trap, and Moscow is scrambling to understand how this breach even happened. The images you are about to see on your screens reveal a silent but undeniable shift in naval balance. Massive silhouettes cutting through dark waters, thermal signatures lighting up in synchronized patterns, and radar trails forming geometric precision across the western Black Sea. But that is not the most shocking detail. There are two critical elements hidden within this deployment that explain why Russia is reacting with such urgency. The first lies in the composition of the fleet itself. The second is embedded in the timing of its arrival. Both will be revealed in the coming minutes. On March 18, 2026, at approximately 0240 local time, reconnaissance satellites operated by European defense agencies detected an unusual concentration of naval assets entering the Black Sea through the Bosporus Strait. Under the Montreux Convention, access to the Black Sea is tightly regulated, limiting the duration and tonnage of non-littoral naval forces. Yet, what appeared that night was not a routine transit. According to preliminary assessments from the Institute for the Study of War, the formation included multiple guided missile destroyers, electronic warfare vessels, and at least one amphibious assault ship. The location of detection was roughly 120 kilometers southwest of Odessa, a zone already saturated with surveillance systems. To understand the scale of this event, one must examine the technical composition of the fleet. The lead vessels were identified as Arleigh Burke-class destroyers equipped with Aegis combat systems, capable of tracking over 100 targets simultaneously while deploying SM-6 and Tomahawk cruise missiles. Supporting them were electronic warfare platforms designed to disrupt radar and communications within a 300-kilometer radius. Intelligence briefings from CSIS indicated the presence of at least 96 vertical launch system cells per destroyer, translating into a combined strike capability exceeding 400 precision-guided munitions. This is not a defensive posture. This is a forward operating strike group. But the truly chilling detail lies in the integration of unmanned systems. Accompanying the fleet were autonomous surface vessels operating in dispersed formations, each equipped with ISR payloads and potential kinetic capabilities. These platforms, controlled via satellite uplinks and encrypted fiber optic relays, are resistant to conventional electronic warfare interference. Russian S-400 systems, optimized for aerial threats, struggle to detect low-profile maritime drones. This technological asymmetry creates a gap that Moscow cannot easily close, and that gap may be the key to everything that follows. This deployment represents more than just a naval maneuver. It signals a strategic recalibration of control over the Black Sea. By positioning such a force within striking distance of Crimea, the balance of power shifts from static defense to dynamic deterrence. A single destroyer within this formation can launch precision strikes up to 1,600 kilometers inland. Multiply that by 4 or 5 vessels, and the entire southern military district of Russia falls within immediate reach. This is not containment. This is encirclement. The implications ripple outward. Control of the Black Sea has long been central to Russia's projection of power into the Mediterranean and the Middle East. Sevastopol serves as the logistical heart of this strategy, housing the Black Sea Fleet and supporting operations as far as Syria. But with this new presence, every movement from that port is now under constant observation. Every sortie becomes a calculated risk, and every delay compounds strategic vulnerability. Now, consider the timing. This deployment occurred just days after increased drone strikes on Russian logistics hubs in Crimea and Krasnodar. According to reports from Ukrainian military intelligence, over 47 drone incursions were recorded between March 12th and March 17th alone. These strikes targeted fuel depots, radar installations, and ammunition storage facilities. The sudden appearance of a powerful naval formation in the Black Sea immediately after such disruptions suggests coordination at a level that goes beyond coincidence. It implies a synchronized campaign designed to stretch Russian defenses across multiple domains. But this is where things get even more complex. The geopolitical context surrounding this move reveals layers of strategic signaling. NATO has not officially confirmed the deployment, maintaining ambiguity that allows plausible deniability. However, Defense Ministry statements from Romania and Bulgaria acknowledged increased Allied maritime presence in the region. At the same time, Turkey, the gatekeeper of the Bosporus, has remained unusually silent. This silence is not neutrality. It is calculated restraint. Historically, the Black Sea has been a contested zone, but rarely has it seen such concentrated power projection from external actors. During the Cold War, naval presence was carefully balanced to avoid escalation. Today, that balance appears to be shifting. The integration of advanced missile systems, autonomous platforms, and electronic warfare capabilities creates a multi-layered threat environment that Russia has not faced in this region before, and it is happening faster than most analysts anticipated. This brings us to the psychological dimension of the situation. Within the Kremlin, decision-making is increasingly influenced by perceptions of encirclement and pressure. Russian leadership has long operated under the assumption that NATO expansion represents a direct threat to national security. The sudden appearance of a powerful naval formation in the Black Sea reinforces that narrative. It validates fears of strategic isolation and accelerates the urgency of response. But what does that response look like? Russian naval doctrine emphasizes layered defense, relying on coastal missile systems, submarine patrols, and air superiority to maintain control. However, each of these layers is now under strain. Coastal systems can be targeted by long-range precision strikes. Submarines face increased detection through advanced sonar networks. And air superiority is contested by the presence of integrated air defense systems on naval platforms. The result is a gradual erosion of confidence. Meanwhile, on the ground, the human impact begins to surface. Sailors stationed in Sevastopol report heightened alert levels, extended patrol durations, and reduced shore leave. Civilian populations in coastal regions are witnessing increased military activity, with convoys moving through urban areas and checkpoints expanding overnight. These are not isolated developments. They are indicators of a system preparing for sustained pressure. Looking ahead, the future projection becomes increasingly uncertain. If this naval presence remains in the Black Sea beyond the typical rotational period, it could signal a long-term shift in strategic posture. That would force Russia to either escalate its own deployments or risk losing control over a critical maritime domain. Both options carry significant risks. Escalation increases the ihtimal of direct confrontation. Inaction invites further encroachment. There is also the question of what comes next. Will additional assets enter the region? Will this deployment be reinforced by aerial components such as reconnaissance aircraft or long-range bombers? And perhaps most importantly, how will Russia respond if this formation begins conducting active operations rather than passive presence? The answers are not yet clear, but the pattern is emerging. A controlled sea is becoming contested, a stable front is becoming fluid, and a calculated balance is beginning to fracture. Russia believed the Black Sea was secure. Now, it is anything but. What are your thoughts on this development? Do you think this naval presence represents a deterrent move or the beginning of a larger escalation? Share your perspective in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and like our video to stay informed on the latest geopolitical developments. Thank you for choosing us.